Marcus Rivera pushed his cleaning cart down the empty hallway of Westfield Corporate Tower. The wheels squeaked softly on the polished marble floor. It was almost 9 o'clock at night and the building was quiet. Most people had gone home hours ago. Only a few office lights still glowed in the darkness. Marcus was tired. His back hurt from bending over all day. His hands were rough from chemicals and scrubbing. But he could not complain. This job paid the bills. It kept food on the table for his daughter Sophia. That was all that mattered. He was 42 years old, but sometimes he felt much older. Life had been hard since his wife Maria died 3 years ago. Cancer had taken her away slowly, painfully. Marcus had watched the woman he loved fade away, and he could do nothing to stop it. After she died, he was left alone with their daughter. Sophia was only 5 years old then. She cried every night for her mother. Marcus had to be strong for her. He worked 2 jobs to pay off the medical bills. During the day, he worked at a warehouse. At night, he cleaned offices in this tall building downtown. He rarely slept more than 4 hours. But Sophia needed him. She needed a home, food, clothes, and school supplies. She needed a father who would not give up. Money was always tight. They lived in a small apartment on the edge of the city. The walls were thin. The heater barely worked in winter, but it was theirs. Marcus made sure Sophia had everything she needed, even if he went without. He bought her books from thrift stores. He cooked simple meals. He helped her with homework late at night, his eyes burning with exhaustion. But Marcus had one treasure that poverty could not take away. He had music. Before Maria got sick, he had studied piano at the community college. Music was his passion, his escape, his joy. He had dreamed of becoming a music teacher someday. But when Maria got sick, he had to quit school. The medical bills were too high. He had to work, not study. He had not touched a piano in 3 years. There was no money for instruments or lessons. Sometimes late at night, Marcus would sit at their small kitchen table and move his fingers in the air, remembering the feel of the keys. He would hum the songs Maria loved. It made him feel close to her again, just for a moment. Tonight, Marcus was cleaning the executive floor on the 20th level. This floor was different from the others. The carpets were thicker. The furniture was expensive. Large windows showed the city lights sparkling below like fallen stars. This was where the important people worked, the bosses and managers who made big decisions. Marcus pushed his cart past several dark offices. He picked up trash cans, wiped down desks, and vacuumed the floors. It was boring work, but he did it well. He took pride in leaving every space clean and neat. Even if no one noticed, Marcus knew. His mother had taught him that any work worth doing was worth doing right. As he turned a corner, he saw a door he had not noticed before. It was open just a crack and soft light spilled out. Marcus hesitated. He was not sure if he should go in, but it was his job to clean all the rooms, so he pushed his cart forward. The room was beautiful. It was not like the other boring offices. This was a lounge area with comfortable chairs, tall plants, and artwork on the walls. Soft lights hung from the ceiling. A coffee bar stood in one corner with an expensive machine that probably made fancy drinks. But what caught Marcus's attention was the piano. It sat in the far corner of the room near the windows. It was a grand piano, black and shining like a dark mirror. The lid was open, showing the strings inside. Marcus stopped breathing for a moment. He had never seen such a beautiful instrument up close. He looked around. The floor was empty. Everyone had gone home. No one would know if he just looked at it. Marcus walked slowly toward the piano, leaving his cart by the door. His heart beat faster with each step. When he reached it, he ran his fingers gently over the smooth surface. It was perfect, not a scratch or mark anywhere. Marcus could not help himself. He sat down on the bench. It felt strange to sit at a piano again after so many years. His hands shook a little as he placed them on the keys. He pressed one key softly. The note rang out, pure and clear. It was perfectly tuned. Before he knew what he was doing, Marcus began to play. His fingers remembered what his mind had almost forgotten. He played Chopin's Nocturne in E-flat major. It had been Maria's favorite piece. She used to sit and listen to him practice it for hours. When she was sick in the hospital, she would ask him to hum it to her. It helped her sleep. As Marcus played, tears rolled down his cheeks. He had not realized how much he missed this. Music poured out of him like water from a broken dam. All the sadness, all the loneliness, all the exhaustion of the past 3 years flowed into the notes. The piano sang his pain and his love and his loss. He played with his eyes closed, lost in the memory of Maria. He could almost see her sitting next to him, her hand on his shoulder, smiling at him the way she used to. For these few minutes, she was alive again. The cancer had never happened. They were young and happy and full of dreams. Marcus did not hear the soft sound of a cane tapping on the floor. He did not notice the small figure standing in the doorway. He was too deep in his music, too far away in his memories. When the last note faded into silence, Marcus opened his eyes. He took a deep breath and wiped his tears with the back of his hand. Then he heard it. The sound of small hands clapping. Marcus jumped and turned around. A little girl stood near the doorway. She was small and thin, maybe 7 or 8 years old. She had long black hair and pale skin. She wore an expensive-looking dress that was wrinkled from a long day. In her hand she held a white cane. The girl was blind. Marcus could tell from the way her eyes looked past him instead of at him, but she was smiling. It was the brightest, happiest smile Marcus had seen in a long time. "That was beautiful," the girl said. Her voice was soft but clear. "Will you play more?" Marcus stood up quickly, his heart pounding. He should not be here. He should not have touched the piano. He was going to get fired. "I'm sorry," he said. "I didn't mean to disturb anyone. I was just cleaning and I saw the piano and I couldn't help myself. I'll go now." "No, please don't go." The girl moved carefully into the room, using her cane to feel her way. "I heard the music from my mom's office. I've never heard anything so pretty." "What was that song?" Marcus watched her move slowly toward the piano. She was very careful, very deliberate. She had clearly been blind for a long time and knew how to navigate the world without sight. "It's called Nocturne in E-flat major," he said gently. "A man named Chopin wrote it a long time ago." "Nocturne," the girl repeated. "That means night song, doesn't it? My audiobooks taught me that. It's a perfect name. It sounds like nighttime feels. Quiet and deep and a little bit sad." Marcus was surprised by how smart she was. "Yes, that's exactly right. How did you know I was playing?" "My mom works late every night. Her office is down the hall. I was doing homework, but it's boring." The girl reached the piano and ran her small hand along its side. "I heard the music and had to find out where it came from. We have a piano at home, but no one plays it. It just sits there like a big, useless piece of furniture." "You should learn to play," Marcus said. "Music is a wonderful thing." The girl's smile faded a little. "I can't see the notes. Mom says it would be too hard for me." Marcus felt a surge of emotion. He thought of all the things people had told him were too hard or impossible. He thought of how many times he had wanted to give up but kept going anyway. "I don't think that's true," he said firmly. "Some of the greatest pianists in history were blind. They learned to play by feeling and listening, not by seeing. If you want to learn, being blind doesn't have to stop you." The girl's face lit up again. "Really? You're not just saying that to make me feel better?" "Really," Marcus said. He sat back down on the bench. "Come here. I'll show you." The girl moved carefully to the piano bench. Marcus helped her sit down next to him. Up close, he could see she was even younger than he thought. Maybe 7 years old. She was so small and fragile-looking. "Put your hands on the keys like this," Marcus said. He guided her small hands to the right position. "Feel how smooth they are? The white keys are flat, and the black keys are raised up. You can feel the difference, right?" "Yes," the girl said. Her face was serious with concentration. "The black ones stick up higher." "Good. Now the piano has patterns. Every pattern has 7 white keys and 5 black keys. Once you learn one pattern, you know them all. You don't need to see to understand patterns. You can feel them." Marcus pressed her fingers down gently on the keys. "Let's play a simple song together." For the next several minutes, Marcus taught the girl a basic melody. She was a fast learner, catching on quickly to the pattern of notes. Her face was full of joy and concentration. She laughed when she made mistakes and tried again with determination. Marcus found himself smiling for the first time in weeks. Teaching this child felt good. It reminded him of why he had loved music in the first place. Music was not just about playing notes. It was about sharing something beautiful with others. It was about connecting with people in a way that words could not. "What's your name?" Marcus asked as they played. "Emma," the girl said. "Emma Chen, what's yours?" "Marcus Rivera." "Are you a music teacher, Mr. Rivera?" Marcus hesitated. "No, I'm a janitor. I clean the building at night." Emma tilted her head, her unseeing eyes pointed in his direction. But you play so well. Better than any teacher, I think. Why aren't you a music teacher? It was an innocent question, but it hit Marcus hard. Sometimes life gets in the way of our dreams, he said quietly. I have a daughter about your age. I have to take care of her. Being a janitor pays the bills. That's sad, Emma said simply. You should be able to do what you love. Maybe someday, Marcus said, though he did not believe it. What about you? What do you love to do? Emma was quiet for a moment. I don't know. Most things are hard for me. I can't play sports because I can't see the ball. I can't draw or paint. I like listening to audiobooks, but that's not really doing something. It's just listening. She played a few more notes on the piano. But this is nice. I like this. I can do this. Yes, you can, Marcus said warmly. You have a good ear for music. That's a gift. They played together for a while longer. Marcus taught Emma a simple lullaby, and she picked it up quickly. She was laughing, her whole face bright with happiness. Marcus felt something warm spread through his chest. For a little while, he forgot about his tired back and his money problems and his loneliness. He was just a man sharing music with a child, and that was enough. Neither of them noticed the tall woman standing in the hallway outside the lounge. She stood very still, barely breathing, listening to her daughter's laughter. It had been so long since she heard Emma laugh like that. So long since she had seen her daughter truly happy. Jennifer Chen was a powerful woman. She was the CEO of Chen Technologies, a major tech company. She made million-dollar decisions every day. She managed hundreds of employees. She had built her company from nothing into one of the most successful businesses in the city. People respected her and sometimes feared her, but none of that mattered right now. Right now, she was just a mother watching her daughter come alive for the first time in months. And she was watching a janitor, a man who cleaned toilets and emptied trash cans, give her daughter something she had been unable to provide with all her money and power. He was giving Emma joy. Jennifer's eyes filled with tears. She pressed her hand against her mouth to keep from making any sound. She did not want to interrupt this moment. She just wanted to stand here and listen to her daughter laugh and play music with a stranger who had shown her more kindness in 10 minutes than most people showed in a lifetime. After a while, Marcus checked his watch and gasped. Oh no, I've been here too long. I still have 3 more floors to clean tonight. He stood up from the bench. I'm sorry, Emma. I have to get back to work. Emma's face fell. Will you be here tomorrow night? Marcus hesitated. He should say no. He should not make promises he might not be able to keep. But when he looked at Emma's hopeful face, he could not bring himself to disappoint her. I work here every weeknight. I clean this floor around 9 o'clock. Can I come back? Can you teach me more piano? If your mother says it's okay, Marcus said carefully. Does she know you're here?
She's working in her office.
She always works late. She probably didn't even notice I left. There was no anger in Emma's voice, just sadness. She's very busy. She works all the time. Marcus understood that feeling. He worked all the time too. But he did it for Sophia, to give her a good life. He wondered why Emma's mother worked so much when she clearly already had money. You should probably get back to her office before she worries. Okay. Emma stood up carefully and picked up her cane. Thank you, Mr. Rivera. This was the best night I've had in a long time. Thank you, Emma. You reminded me why I love music. Emma smiled and carefully made her way to the door. She moved slowly but confidently, counting her steps. When she reached the hallway, she turned back. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow, Marcus said, even though he knew he probably should not make that promise. Emma disappeared down the hallway, tapping her cane softly. Marcus stood alone in the lounge for a moment, looking at the piano. Then he shook his head and went back to his cleaning cart. He had work to do. As he pushed the cart down the hallway, he did not see Jennifer Chen step out from a dark office doorway. She watched him go, this man who had touched her daughter's life with such simple kindness. She made a mental note to check the building's security cameras later. She wanted to know more about Marcus Rivera, the janitor who played piano like an angel and treated her blind daughter like she was capable of anything. Jennifer went back to her own office, where Emma sat at a small desk doing homework. Did you have a nice walk? Jennifer asked casually. Emma's face exploded into a huge smile. Mom, I found someone playing piano. He taught me how to play. His name is Mr. Rivera, and he's so nice, and he says being blind doesn't mean I can't learn music. The words tumbled out in a rush. Jennifer sat down and listened as Emma told her all about the wonderful janitor who played beautiful music. And as she listened, Jennifer Chen, CEO and businesswoman, made a decision. She was going to find out everything she could about Marcus Rivera, because anyone who could make her daughter smile like that deserved her attention. Outside the window, the city lights twinkled in the darkness. Somewhere below, people were living their lives, chasing their dreams, struggling with their problems. Among them was Marcus Rivera, pushing his cleaning cart, humming softly to himself, thinking about a little blind girl who reminded him that beauty could exist even in the darkest places. He did not know that his life was about to change. He did not know that playing piano for one lonely child would set in motion events that would transform everything. He just knew that for a few precious minutes tonight he had felt alive again. He had felt like himself again. And sometimes that is all we need to keep going. Just a few minutes of joy to remind us that life is still worth living, that tomorrow might be better, that we are not alone in our struggles. Marcus finished cleaning the 20th floor and moved on to the 21st. His back still hurt. His hands were still rough. He was still tired and poor and lonely, but something had shifted inside him. A small light had been turned on in a dark room. Tomorrow night he would come back. He would clean the floors and empty the trash. And if Emma came to the piano lounge again, he would teach her more music. Because that is what kind people do. They share what little they have with others who need it. And sometimes, if we are very lucky, that simple act of kindness changes the world. The next evening, Marcus arrived at Westfield Corporate Tower at his usual time. It was 6 o'clock and the sun was setting behind the tall buildings. He clocked in at the security desk and picked up his cleaning supplies from the storage room. His supervisor, Mr. Thompson, barely looked up from his phone. "Rivera, start on the 5th floor tonight. Work your way up," Mr. Thompson said. "Yes, sir," Marcus replied. He loaded his cart and headed to the elevator. His heart beat a little faster than usual. He wondered if Emma would come back to the piano lounge. Part of him hoped she would. Another part worried that he was making a mistake. He was just a janitor. He should not be spending his work time teaching a rich kid to play piano. But when he remembered Emma's smile and her laughter, his doubts faded. That little girl was lonely. She needed someone to show her kindness. Marcus knew what loneliness felt like. After Maria died, he had felt like he was drowning in it. If he could help one child feel less alone, maybe that would mean something. Marcus worked steadily through the evening. He cleaned offices, bathrooms, and conference rooms. He emptied trash cans and vacuumed carpets. His mind wandered as he worked. He thought about Sophia, his daughter. She was at their neighbor Mrs. Garcia's apartment right now, doing homework and eating dinner. Mrs. Garcia was kind enough to watch Sophia every evening while Marcus worked. He paid her what he could, but it was never enough. Mrs. Garcia always told him not to worry about it. Sophia was a good kid. She worked hard in school and never complained about their small apartment or their lack of money. But Marcus knew she was sad sometimes. She missed having a mother. She missed having nice things like her classmates. She never asked for anything expensive. But Marcus could see the longing in her eyes when they passed toy stores or when other kids talked about their vacations. Marcus wished he could give her more. He wished he could buy her a piano so he could teach her music properly. He wished he could take her to concerts and museums and all the places Maria had wanted to take her. But wishes did not pay bills. Hard work did. By 8:30, Marcus reached the 20th floor. His hands were tired and his knees ached, but he felt a flutter of nervous energy. He pushed his cart down the familiar hallway toward the executive lounge. The door was open, just like last night. Soft light spilled out into the dark corridor. Marcus hesitated at the doorway. He looked around to make sure no one was watching. The floor seemed empty. Most of the office lights were off. Only a few rooms at the far end still glowed. One of them must be where Emma's mother worked. He entered the lounge and immediately saw her. Emma sat on one of the comfortable chairs near the piano. She was doing homework, running her fingers over a page covered in raised dots. Braille, Marcus realized. She was reading Braille. "Hello, Emma," Marcus said softly, not wanting to startle her. Emma's head snapped up and her face broke into a huge smile. "Mr. Rivera, you came back. I was hoping you would be here." "I told you I work here every night," Marcus said, smiling. "How was your day?" "Boring," Emma said honestly. "School was okay, I guess. My teacher is nice, but the other kids don't really talk to me much. They don't know what to say to a blind girl. She closed her braille book and stood up, using her cane to navigate to the piano. I've been thinking about the piano all day. I tried to practice the song you taught me, but I kept forgetting the notes. That's normal, Marcus said. Learning an instrument takes time and practice. You can't expect to remember everything after one lesson. He sat down at the piano bench and patted the space next to him. Come on, let's practice together. Emma sat down beside him, her face eager and attentive. For the next half hour, Marcus taught her the same simple lullaby from the night before. He helped her place her fingers on the right keys and guided her through the melody. Emma was a quick learner. She made mistakes, but she laughed at them and tried again. Her determination impressed Marcus. You're doing really well, Marcus said. You have a natural feel for rhythm. Really? Emma's face glowed with pride. My mom never said I was good at anything. Marcus frowned. I'm sure that's not true. Your mother must be very proud of you. Emma was quiet for a moment. Her fingers rested on the piano keys, but she did not play. My mom is busy, she said finally.
She works all the time.
She tries to be a good mom, but I know she's stressed. We don't really talk much anymore, not like we used to. What do you mean? Marcus asked gently. Emma took a breath. Before my dad left, things were different. Mom was still busy, but she was happy. She would come home and tell us about her day. She would laugh and make jokes. We would have dinner together every night. But then Dad left us and everything changed. When did your father leave? A year and a half ago, Emma said. Her voice was very small. He said he couldn't handle having a blind daughter. He said it was too hard, too stressful. He and Mom fought all the time about my doctors and my therapy and everything. Then one day he just left. He didn't even say goodbye to me. Marcus felt anger rise in his chest. What kind of man abandoned his child because she was blind? What kind of father gave up on his own daughter? I'm sorry, Emma, he said quietly. That must have hurt very much. It did, Emma admitted. But Mom was hurt worse. She blamed herself. She thought if she had been a better wife or worked less or something, Dad would have stayed. She started working even more hours. I think she doesn't want to be home because everything reminds her of Dad, but that means I'm alone a lot. Marcus understood pain and loss. He understood how grief could make people do strange things. Your mother is doing her best, he said. Sometimes when adults are hurting, they don't know how to fix it. They just try to keep busy so they don't have to feel the pain. Is that what you do? Emma asked. Her unseeing eyes seemed to look right through him. You said you have a daughter. You work 2 jobs. Are you keeping busy so you don't have to feel sad about something? The question caught Marcus off guard. This little girl was far too perceptive. Yes, he admitted. My wife died 3 years ago. I work hard so I don't have time to miss her. Does it work? No, Marcus said honestly. I miss her every single day. Working hard doesn't make the pain go away, but it gives me purpose. It gives me a reason to get up in the morning. I have to take care of my daughter, Sophia. She needs me. I think your wife would be proud of you, Emma said. You're a good dad. Sophia's lucky. Marcus felt tears sting his eyes. Thank you, Emma. That means a lot. They sat in comfortable silence for a moment. Then Emma said, Will you play that song again? The one from last night? The Nocturne? Of course. Marcus began to play Chopin's Nocturne in E-flat major. His fingers moved over the keys with practiced ease. The music filled the room, soft and melancholy and beautiful. Emma sat very still beside him, her head tilted slightly, listening with her whole being. In the hallway outside, Jennifer Chen stood in the same spot as the night before. She had come to listen again. After Emma told her about Marcus yesterday, Jennifer had pulled up his employee file. She had learned that he was a model employee, always on time, never complained, worked hard. His background check was clean. He had no criminal record, no red flags. She had also watched the security camera footage from the night before. She saw the gentle way Marcus interacted with Emma. She saw how patient he was, how kind. She saw Emma's face light up with joy, and she heard the music. That beautiful, haunting music that Marcus played. Jennifer was a practical woman. She had built her company through hard work and smart decisions. She did not believe in fairy tales or miracles. But watching Marcus with Emma made her feel something she had not felt in a long time. Hope. Emma had been so withdrawn since the divorce. She barely smiled anymore. She went through the motions of life but seemed empty inside. Therapy had not helped. Support groups had not helped. Jennifer had tried everything she could think of, But nothing worked. She was losing her daughter to sadness, and she did not know how to stop it. But in just 2 nights, this janitor had reached Emma in a way no professional therapist could. He treated her like a normal child. He did not pity her or talk down to her. He simply shared something beautiful with her and believed she could learn it. Jennifer wiped tears from her eyes. She needed to know more about Marcus Rivera. She needed to understand what made him so special. But more than that, she needed to make sure Emma could keep seeing him. These piano lessons were helping her daughter heal. When the music ended, Jennifer heard Emma clapping and laughing. "That was even more beautiful than last night," Emma said. "How do you remember all those notes? There must be hundreds of them." "Thousands, actually," Marcus said with a chuckle. "I've been playing this piece for many years. My wife loved it. I played it for her all the time. She had good taste," Emma said. Then she added shyly, "Do you think someday I could play something that beautiful?" "I know you could," Marcus said firmly. "If you practice and work hard, you can play anything you want. Being blind doesn't limit you, Emma. Only fear limits you." "I'm not afraid," Emma said. "Not when you're teaching me." They practiced for another 20 minutes. Marcus taught Emma a few more simple melodies. She was getting better, her fingers finding the right keys more easily. She was starting to understand the patterns and rhythms. Marcus was impressed by how quickly she learned. Finally, Marcus checked his watch. "I really need to get back to work," he said reluctantly. "I still have 2 more floors to clean and I need to be done by midnight. Will you come back tomorrow?" Emma asked. "I'll be here," Marcus promised. "Same time, same place." "Thank you, Mr. Rivera," Emma said. She reached out and found his hand, squeezing it gently. "You're the nicest person I've met in a long time." Marcus squeezed back. "You're pretty nice yourself, kiddo. Now go back to your mother's office before she worries." Emma picked up her cane and her braille book. She navigated carefully out of the lounge, counting her steps and using her cane to avoid obstacles. Marcus watched her go, a warm feeling in his chest. Teaching Emma reminded him of why he had fallen in love with music in the first place. It was about connection, about sharing joy, about making someone's life a little bit better. After Emma left, Marcus returned to his work. He cleaned the lounge, wiping down tables and vacuuming the carpet. He was careful around the piano, treating it with respect. When he finished, he moved on to the next floor. Marcus did not see Jennifer step into the lounge. She walked slowly to the piano and sat down on the bench. She ran her fingers over the keys but did not play. She did not know how. Music had never been part of her world. She was all about business and numbers and profits, but listening to Marcus play had awakened something in her. A longing for beauty, for art, for something more than spreadsheets and meetings. She had built a successful company, but somewhere along the way she had lost herself. She had forgotten how to be happy. She had forgotten how to be a mother who did more than provide money and security. Jennifer made a decision. She was going to continue letting Emma have these piano lessons with Marcus, but she was also going to do more research on him. She needed to know everything about this man who was becoming so important to her daughter's happiness. Over the next 2 weeks, a routine developed. Every evening at 9 o'clock, Emma would go to the piano lounge. Marcus would take his break and teach her piano for 30 to 45 minutes. Then he would return to his cleaning duties and Emma would go back to her mother's office. Emma blossomed during those weeks. She smiled more. She talked more. She was excited about something for the first time in months. Jennifer watched the transformation with amazement and gratitude. She continued to stand in the hallway listening, never interrupting, just grateful that someone had reached her daughter. Marcus and Emma's conversations deepened as they got to know each other better. Emma told him about school, about the challenges of being blind, about missing her father. Marcus told her about Sophia, about missing Maria, about his dreams that had died when life got hard. "Why don't you bring Sophia here?" Emma asked one night. "I'd like to meet her. Maybe she could learn piano too." Marcus hesitated.
Sophia can't come here.
"This is your mother's workplace. Besides, I'm supposed to be working, not teaching piano." "But you are working," Emma insisted. "You're teaching me. That's important work. And my mom wouldn't mind. She knows I come here to see you." "She does?" Marcus was surprised. He had assumed Emma was sneaking away without permission. "Of course. I told her all about you. She said it was fine as long as I finished my homework first." Emma tilted her head. "She acts like she doesn't care, but I think she's happy I found something I love." Marcus was relieved but also nervous. If Emma's mother knew about the lessons, why had she not said anything? Did she approve, or was she just too busy to care? He did not want to cause any problems. This job was important. He could not afford to lose it. Still, I don't think bringing Sophia is a good idea, Marcus said. These lessons are for you. Okay, Emma said, but she sounded disappointed. The lessons continued. Emma progressed from simple melodies to more complex pieces. She was a natural musician, Marcus realized. She had perfect pitch and an incredible memory for sounds. She could hear a melody once and reproduce it with minimal help. Her blindness actually helped her in some ways because she was not distracted by sheet music or by watching her hands. She simply felt and listened and played. One evening, as Marcus was teaching Emma a new song, something unexpected happened. The door to the lounge opened and a woman walked in. She was tall and elegant, wearing an expensive suit. Her black hair was pulled back in a neat bun. Her face was beautiful but tired, with dark circles under her eyes. Marcus jumped up from the piano bench immediately. He knew who this was. Emma's mother. The CEO, his boss's boss's boss. He was in trouble. "Please don't stop on my account," the woman said. Her voice was cool and controlled. "Continue the lesson." Emma's face broke into a smile. "Mom, are you done working already?" "Not quite, but I thought I should finally meet your piano teacher properly." The woman's dark eyes fixed on Marcus. They were intelligent and piercing. Marcus felt like she could see right through him. "I'm Jennifer Chen." "Marcus Rivera, ma'am," Marcus said nervously. He wished he was not wearing his janitor uniform with his name patch. He wished he looked more professional. "I apologize if I've been neglecting my duties. I can stop the lessons if they're a problem." "They're not a problem," Jennifer said. She walked further into the room, her heels clicking on the floor. "My daughter has told me a lot about you, Mr. Rivera. She says you're a wonderful teacher. He's the best," Emma said enthusiastically. "He makes music make sense. He doesn't treat me like I'm stupid or helpless." Jennifer's expression softened slightly when she looked at her daughter. "I can see that." She turned back to Marcus. "I've been listening to your lessons for the past 2 weeks. Marcus's eyes widened. "You have?" "Yes, I stand in the hallway. I wanted to make sure Emma was safe and that you were—" Jennifer paused, choosing her words carefully. "Appropriate, and am I?" Marcus asked. He tried to keep his voice steady. Jennifer studied him for a long moment. "Yes, you've been nothing but kind and respectful to my daughter. You've given her something I couldn't provide with all my money and resources. You've given her joy." Marcus did not know what to say. This powerful woman was thanking him for simply being kind to a lonely child. It seemed wrong somehow. Kindness should not be so rare that it deserves special recognition. "Emma is a special kid," Marcus said finally. "She's smart and talented. Any time spent with her is a gift." Emma beamed at the compliment. Jennifer's eyes shimmered with emotion, though her face remained composed. "Mr. Rivera," Jennifer said formally, "I would like to discuss something with you."
Can you come to my office after your shift ends?
Marcus's stomach dropped. This was it. He was getting fired. Or maybe arrested. "Yes, ma'am," he said quietly. "Good. Emma, it's time for us to go home. Say goodnight to Mr. Rivera." "Good night, Mr. Rivera," Emma said. "See you tomorrow?" "I hope so," Marcus said, though he was not sure there would be a tomorrow. Marcus took a deep breath. He was not good at talking about himself, especially to someone as important as Jennifer Chen. But she was waiting, watching him with those intelligent, dark eyes. He had to answer. "I'm nobody special, ma'am," Marcus began. "I'm 42 years old. I've been working as a janitor here for 2 years. Before that, I worked at a warehouse during the day and did odd jobs at night. I have an 8-year-old daughter named Sophia. It's just the 2 of us." "What about your wife?" Jennifer asked. "Emma mentioned that you're widowed." Marcus felt the familiar ache in his chest. "My wife Maria died 3 years ago. Cancer. We tried everything, but nothing worked. The medical bills bankrupted us. I had to drop out of college to take care of her and work. After she died, I had to work even harder to pay off the debt and take care of Sophia." "You were in college?" Jennifer looked interested. "Studying what?" "Music," Marcus said quietly. "I was studying piano at the community college. I wanted to be a music teacher someday, but life had other plans." Jennifer leaned forward. "Why didn't you go back to school after your wife passed?" Marcus almost laughed, but it would have sounded bitter. With what money?
With what time?
I work 14 hours a day just to keep food on the table and a roof over our heads. College is a luxury I can't afford. Besides, I'm too old now. That dream is dead. You're 42, not 82, Jennifer said. That's hardly too old for anything. Marcus shrugged. Maybe not for some people. But for people like me, dreams are expensive. I have responsibilities. Sophia needs things. She needs clothes and school supplies and food. She needs a father who shows up for her, not one who's chasing impossible dreams. Jennifer was quiet for a moment. She tapped her fingers on her desk, thinking. Tell me about Sophia, what's she like? Marcus's face softened. She's amazing. Smart, kind, strong. She works hard in school. She never complains about not having things that other kids have. She's handling her mother's death better than I am, honestly. She's my reason for everything. Does she play piano? A little. I teach her what I can remember, but we don't have a piano. I show her finger positions and hum melodies. Sometimes we go to the mall and I let her try the pianos in the music store. But the employees always chase us out after a few minutes. They know we can't afford to buy anything. Jennifer's expression flickered with something that looked like sadness or sympathy. That must be difficult for you. Having all that talent and knowledge and no way to use it properly. It is what it is, Marcus said. He did not like talking about his problems. It made him feel weak and pathetic. I don't mean to complain, ma'am. I have a job and a healthy daughter. Many people have it worse. That's very mature of you, Jennifer said. But just because others have it worse doesn't mean your struggles aren't real. She paused. Mr. Rivera, I asked you here because I want to make you an offer. Marcus's stomach tightened. What kind of offer? Jennifer stood up and walked to the window. The city lights spread out below, a sea of glowing points in the darkness. Emma hasn't been this happy in over a year. Since her father left us, she's been withdrawn and sad. I've tried everything. Therapists, support groups, activities. Nothing worked. She just got quieter and quieter, like she was disappearing inside herself. Jennifer turned to face Marcus. Then she met you. Suddenly, she's smiling again. She's excited about something. She talks about music and piano and all the things you're teaching her. You've given her hope, Mr. Rivera. You've given her something to look forward to. She's a good kid, Marcus said. She deserves to be happy. Yes, she does. And you're making that possible. Jennifer crossed her arms. I want to hire you as Emma's private piano teacher. Officially. Not just a janitor who gives free lessons on his break. A real teacher with a contract and proper pay. Marcus stared at her. He could not have heard that correctly. What? You heard me. I want to hire you to teach Emma piano 3 evenings a week. I'll pay you well. Much better than you make as a janitor. Marcus's mind raced. This was crazy. This was impossible. People like him did not get offers like this. Ma'am, I appreciate the thought, but I can't accept. I'm not qualified. I don't have a degree or teaching credentials or anything like that. You have talent and patience and kindness, Jennifer said firmly. Those are more important than pieces of paper. Emma trusts you. She learns from you. That's what matters. But I'm just a janitor, Marcus protested. I clean toilets for a living. You can't hire me as a private teacher. What would people think? I don't care what people think, Jennifer said coldly. I care about my daughter's well-being. You're helping her. That's all that matters to me. Marcus shook his head. This doesn't make sense. You could hire a real teacher. Someone from a music school or conservatory. Someone with credentials and experience. I don't want someone from a conservatory, Jennifer said. I want you. Emma wants you. She walked back to her desk and pulled out a folder. I've already had my lawyers draw up a contract. You would work 3 evenings a week. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. 2 hours per session. The pay is $60 an hour. Marcus's eyes widened. $60 an hour? That was more than he made in half a day of janitorial work. That's too much money, he said weakly. It's the going rate for private music instruction in this city, Jennifer said. Actually, it's on the lower end for someone teaching a CEO's daughter. But I assumed you'd be uncomfortable with anything higher. Marcus's head was spinning. This was too good to be true. There had to be a catch. What about my janitorial job? I can't quit. I need the steady income and the benefits. You don't have to quit, Jennifer said. Keep the janitorial position if you want. The teaching would be in addition to it, not instead of it. Though eventually, if this works out, We could discuss transitioning you to full-time music instruction. Marcus could not believe what he was hearing. Why are you doing this? You don't know me. I could be a terrible teacher. I could disappoint you. Jennifer sat down and looked at him steadily. For the past 2 weeks, I've stood in the hallway listening to you teach my daughter. I've watched you on the security cameras. I know how patient you are with her. I know how you make her laugh. I know how you treat her like she's capable of anything instead of treating her like a broken, blind child who needs pity. Her voice became emotional. Emma's father left because he couldn't handle having a disabled daughter. He said it was too hard, too stressful. He made Emma feel like she was a burden, like she was defective. Do you know what that does to a child? To feel like your own father thinks you're not worth the trouble? Marcus felt anger again. He's a coward. Yes, he is, Jennifer agreed. And his leaving destroyed Emma. It destroyed both of us. I tried to be strong for her, but I failed. I buried myself in work because I didn't know how else to cope. I failed as a mother. You didn't fail, Marcus said quietly. You're doing your best. That's all any parent can do. Jennifer wiped her eyes quickly. You say that, but I know the truth. I know I've been absent. I know Emma is lonely. And then you came along and showed her kindness for no reason except that she needed it. You didn't want anything from her or from me. You just wanted to share something beautiful with a lonely child. She pushed the folder across the desk toward Marcus. So yes, I'm offering you this job. Not because I think you're perfect or because I know everything about you, but because my daughter needs you. And maybe you need this opportunity too. Marcus picked up the folder with shaking hands. He opened it and saw the contract inside. It was all there, just like Jennifer had said. 3 evenings a week, 2 hours per session, $60 an hour. The math was staggering. That was $360 per week. Over $1,500 per month. That was almost as much as he made from both his jobs combined. There's one condition, Jennifer said. I need you to agree to a background check. A thorough one. I need to know everything about you before I let you spend time alone with my daughter. I hope you understand. Of course, Marcus said. I have nothing to hide. Check whatever you need to check. Good. The background check will take about a week. If everything comes back clean, we'll start the official lessons. Until then, you can keep meeting Emma informally during your breaks. Does that work for you? Marcus looked at the contract again. His hands were still shaking. This could change everything. With this extra money, he could move Sophia to a better apartment. He could buy her new clothes and school supplies. He could save for her college education. He could maybe even buy a cheap used piano for their apartment. But more than the money, this was a chance to do something he loved. A chance to teach music again. A chance to matter to someone. To make a real difference in a child's life. Yes, Marcus said, his voice thick with emotion. Yes, this works for me. Thank you, Miss Chen. You have no idea what this means. Jennifer smiled, and for the first time, Marcus saw warmth in her face. I think I do, Mr. Rivera, I think I do. They shook hands across the desk. Marcus's rough, work-worn hand gripped Jennifer's soft, manicured one. It was a handshake between two different worlds, but also a bridge between them. One more thing, Jennifer said. Emma mentioned that you have a daughter who also wants to learn piano. Once we start official lessons, you're welcome to bring Sophia. Emma would love to have a practice partner her own age. Marcus's throat tightened. Are you sure? That's very generous. Emma is an only child. She needs friends. Sophia sounds like she'd be a good friend. Jennifer pulled out a business card and wrote something on the back. This is my personal cell phone number. Call me after the background check comes through. We'll set up a proper schedule. Marcus took the card carefully, like it might disappear if he handled it too roughly. Thank you, Miss Chen. I won't let you down. I promise. I know you won't, Jennifer said. Now go home, Mr. Rivera, get some rest. And think about what you want to teach Emma next. Marcus stood up, clutching the folder and business card. He felt like he was floating. He walked to the door, then turned back. Ms. Chen, can I ask why you really did this? The real reason. Jennifer was quiet for a moment. I've spent my entire adult life building a company. I've made millions of dollars. I have power and influence and respect. But none of that mattered when I watched my daughter retreat into sadness and couldn't fix it. All my money and power were useless. She looked directly at Marcus. You have nothing. No money, no power, no impressive job title. But you had the one thing that mattered. You had kindness. You had the ability to reach my daughter when no one else could. That's worth more than anything I've built, so I'm paying you what little I can to acknowledge that. It's not enough, but it's something." Marcus did not trust himself to speak. He just nodded and left the office before the tears in his eyes could fall. He took the elevator down to the ground floor in a daze. He walked out into the cool night air and stood on the sidewalk, looking up at the tall building. Somewhere up there on the 20th floor, Emma was probably already asleep in her mother's office waiting to go home. Somewhere up there, Jennifer Chen was working late, trying to build an empire and be a mother at the same time. And somewhere in this city, Sophia was asleep in their tiny apartment, dreaming her small dreams, not knowing that her father's life had just changed completely. Marcus pulled out his phone and called Mrs. Garcia. She answered on the third ring, her voice groggy. "Marcus, is everything okay? It's after midnight." "Everything is fine, Mrs. Garcia, better than fine. I just wanted to check on Sophia. She's been asleep for hours." "No problems." Mrs. Garcia paused. "You sound strange. Are you sure everything is okay?" "Yes," Marcus said, and he started laughing. He could not help it. Relief and joy and disbelief all bubbled up inside him. "Everything is going to be okay. I'll pick Sophia up in the morning and tell you everything. Thank you for watching her." "You're welcome, mijo. Get some rest." Marcus hung up and started walking toward the bus stop. He did not have a car. He could not afford one. But maybe someday soon he could. Maybe a lot of things were possible now that had seemed impossible before. As he walked, Marcus thought about how strange life was. Just 2 weeks ago, he had been a tired, lonely janitor with no hope for anything better. He had accepted that his dreams were dead, and that he would spend the rest of his life just surviving, just getting by. Then he had sat down at a piano and played a song. And a little blind girl had heard him. Such a small thing, such a simple moment. But it had changed everything. Marcus reached the bus stop and sat down on the bench to wait. The city was quiet at this hour. A few cars passed by. A homeless man slept in a doorway across the street. The world kept turning, indifferent to one janitor's sudden stroke of good luck. But Marcus was not indifferent. He was grateful. He was hopeful. He was terrified that this might all fall apart. But he was also excited about the possibilities. He pulled out the contract and read it again under the streetlight. It was real. This was really happening. Jennifer Chen had offered him a job teaching her daughter piano. She had offered him respect and fair pay and a chance to use his talents. More than that, she had offered him dignity. She had seen him as more than just a janitor. She had seen the music in him, the teacher, the person who mattered. Marcus folded the contract carefully and put it back in the folder. He thought about Emma and her bright smile. He thought about Sophia and how excited she would be to learn that they might be able to afford a piano someday. He thought about Maria and hoped that wherever she was, she could see this moment. She had always believed in him, even when he stopped believing in himself. The bus arrived, its brakes squealing. Marcus climbed aboard and found a seat near the back. As the bus pulled away from the curb, he looked out the window at Westfield Corporate Tower. The building was mostly dark now, just a few lights scattered throughout. But to Marcus, it glowed like a beacon of hope. In 1 week, the background check would be complete. In 1 week, his new life would begin. All he had to do was wait and trust that this was real. Marcus closed his eyes and rested his head against the window. For the first time in 3 years, he felt something he had almost forgotten. He felt happy. Not the fake happiness he showed Sophia so she would not worry. Not the brief distraction of a song or a memory. Real, genuine happiness about the future. The bus rumbled through the empty streets carrying Marcus home. He had hours of work still ahead of him tomorrow at the warehouse. He had bills to pay and responsibilities to handle. His life was still hard, but now it was hard with hope mixed in. And hope, Marcus had learned, was a powerful thing. Hope could keep you going when everything else failed. Hope could turn a janitor into a teacher, a stranger into a friend, a moment into a miracle. Marcus smiled as the bus carried him through the night. Tomorrow he would tell Sophia about Emma and the lessons and the contract. She would be so excited. She would ask a million questions. She would probably want to start practicing right away, even without a piano. And Marcus would answer every question patiently. He would show her finger positions on the kitchen table. He would hum melodies and explain about rhythm and notes and all the beautiful complexity of music, because that was what teachers did. They shared what they knew with students who wanted to learn. They passed on knowledge and passion and love for their craft. Marcus was going to be a teacher again. Not just a janitor who played piano in secret. A real teacher with students and lessons and purpose. The thought made him smile even wider. Maria would have been so proud. Sophia would be so happy. And Emma, sweet Emma with her white cane and her brilliant smile, Emma would learn to play beautiful music. The bus stopped at Marcus's neighborhood. He got off and walked the 3 blocks to his apartment building. The neighborhood was rough, but it was home. He climbed the stairs to the 3rd floor and unlocked his door quietly so he would not wake Sophia at Mrs. Garcia's. The apartment was dark and silent. Marcus turned on a small lamp and looked around. The furniture was old and worn. The carpet had stains. The walls needed paint. But it was clean and warm in theirs. Soon maybe they could move somewhere better, somewhere with more space and working heat, somewhere Sophia could have her own room instead of sleeping on the couch, somewhere that felt less like poverty and more like home. But even if they stayed here, things would be different now, because Marcus had hope again. He had purpose again. He had been given a gift and he was not going to waste it. Marcus walked to the small kitchen and made himself a cup of tea. He sat at the table with the contract spread out in front of him. He read it one more time just to make sure it was real. It was real. Jennifer Chen's signature was at the bottom. The terms were clear. This was happening. Marcus finished his tea and went to bed. He lay in the darkness staring at the ceiling, too excited to sleep. His mind raced with plans and ideas. Songs he would teach Emma. Ways he could help her develop her natural talent. Exercises for Sophia so she could learn alongside her new friend. Finally, exhaustion won and Marcus drifted off to sleep. He dreamed of music and pianos and 2 little girls laughing as they played a duet. He dreamed of Maria standing beside him, her hand on his shoulder whispering that she was proud of him. When Marcus woke up the next morning, sunlight was streaming through the window. For a moment he thought maybe last night had been a dream, but then he saw the folder on the kitchen table, and he knew it was real. His life had changed. His future had opened up. All because he had played piano for a lonely blind girl and shown her kindness when she needed it most. Sometimes, Marcus thought as he got ready for his warehouse job, the smallest acts of kindness lead to the biggest changes. We never know whose life we might touch or how much one moment of compassion might matter. Marcus had touched Emma's life, and in doing so he had changed his own. The week that followed was the longest of Marcus's life. He went to work at the warehouse every morning, lifting boxes and operating machinery. He cleaned offices every evening, pushing his cart through empty hallways. But his mind was somewhere else. He kept thinking about the contract, about the background check, about whether this incredible opportunity would actually happen. What if something in his past disqualified him? What if Jennifer changed her mind? What if this was all too good to be true? Marcus tried to push away his doubts. He had nothing to hide. His record was clean. He had never been arrested, never done anything wrong. But anxiety gnawed at him anyway. He was not used to good things happening. On the 3rd night, Emma asked him about the contract. "Mom said she offered you a job teaching me officially. Did you say yes?" They were sitting at the piano in the lounge. Marcus had just finished showing her a new piece. "I did say yes," Marcus told her. "But your mother needs to do a background check first." "That takes time." "What's a background check?" Emma asked. "It's when someone looks at your history to make sure you're a safe person. Your mother wants to make sure I'm not dangerous before she hires me to spend time with you." "That's silly," Emma said. "I already know you're safe. You're the nicest person I know." Marcus smiled. "Your mother is being smart. She's protecting you. That's what good parents do." "I guess," Emma said. She played a few notes on the piano. "I hope the check goes fast. I want Sophia to come meet me. You've told me so much about her. She sounds really nice." "She is nice," Marcus said. "You two will get along great." He hesitated, then added, "Emma, I need to ask you something. Are you sure you want me as your teacher? Your mother could hire someone much better than me, someone with a real education and credentials." Emma turned her face toward him. Even though she could not see him, her expression was serious. "You're already my teacher. You've been teaching me for 3 weeks now, and I've learned more from you than I learned from any of my other teachers." "But I'm just a janitor," Marcus said. "No, you're not," Emma said firmly. "You're a musician who happens to clean buildings for money. That's different. Being a janitor is your job, not who you are." Marcus was struck by her words. When had this 7-year-old girl become so wise? "You're right," he said quietly. "Thank you for reminding me of that." They continued their lesson. Emma was making remarkable progress. She could now play several simple songs from memory. Her fingers moved across the keys with growing confidence. Marcus was genuinely impressed by her talent. After Emma left, Marcus returned to his work. But her words stayed with him. "Being a janitor is your job, not who you are." He had forgotten that distinction. He had let his job define him. He had let poverty and struggle make him feel small and unimportant. But Emma saw him differently. Jennifer saw him differently. They saw the musician, the teacher, the person with value beyond his paycheck. Maybe it was time for Marcus to see himself that way too. On Friday evening, as Marcus was cleaning the executive floor, his phone rang. It was a number he did not recognize. His heart jumped. Could this be about the background check? "Hello?" Marcus answered. "Mr. Rivera, this is Jennifer Chen." Her voice was professional but not cold. "I wanted to let you know that your background check came back clean. Everything is in order. We can start official lessons on Monday if that works for you." Relief flooded through Marcus. "Yes, that works perfectly. Thank you, Ms. Chen, thank you so much." "You're welcome. I'm emailing you a copy of the signed contract right now. Please review it and let me know if you have any questions. The first payment will be made after your first week of lessons." "I don't have any questions," Marcus said. His voice shook slightly with emotion. "I'm just grateful for this opportunity." "You've earned it, Mr. Rivera. Emma is already excited about Monday. She's been asking about it every day." After they hung up, Marcus stood in the empty hallway and let himself feel the full weight of what had just happened. This was real. He had been hired as a piano teacher. In 3 days, his new life would begin. That night, Marcus could barely sleep. He lay in bed making plans. He thought about what songs to teach Emma. He thought about how to structure the lessons so they were educational but still fun. He thought about bringing Sophia and how nervous she would be meeting Emma for the first time. On Saturday morning, Marcus told Sophia everything. They sat at their small kitchen table and he explained about Emma and Jennifer and the job offer. Sophia's eyes grew wider and wider as he talked. "You're going to be a real piano teacher?" she asked when he finished. "Yes," Marcus said, smiling at her excitement. "And I get to come to lessons too? And meet Emma?" "If you want to. Emma asked specifically if you could come." Sophia jumped up from her chair and hugged Marcus tightly. "This is the best news ever. I've always wanted to learn piano properly, and I've always wanted a friend who likes music like I do." Marcus hugged her back, blinking away tears. He had worried that Sophia would feel jealous or left out, but she was just happy for him. She was excited about the possibilities. That was the kind of kid she was. Kind and generous and full of joy, just like her mother had been. "We'll need to set some rules," Marcus said. "This is still a job. I'm being paid to teach Emma. You can join the lessons, but you have to be respectful and work hard. This isn't just playtime." "I will, Dad, I promise. I'll be the best student ever." Marcus spent the rest of the weekend preparing. He made a list of songs that would be good for beginners. He thought about teaching methods and techniques. He even went to the library and checked out books about music education. He wanted to do this right. On Monday evening, Marcus arrived at Westfield Corporate Tower at his usual time. But instead of immediately starting his janitorial work, he went straight to the 20th floor. His hands shook slightly as he pushed the elevator button. Sophia stood beside him wearing her nicest dress. Marcus had used some of his savings to buy it for her last Christmas. She had brushed her hair until it shined. She clutched his hand tightly, nervous and excited at the same time. "What if Emma doesn't like me?" Sophia whispered as they rode the elevator up. "She'll like you," Marcus assured her. "How could she not? You're wonderful." The elevator doors opened. Marcus led Sophia down the hallway to Jennifer's office. The door was open. Inside, he could see Jennifer sitting at her desk and Emma sitting in a chair nearby. Marcus knocked softly on the doorframe. "Miss Chen? We're here." Jennifer looked up and smiled. "Mr. Rivera, right on time. Please come in." Her eyes moved to Sophia. "And you must be Sophia. Emma has been very excited to meet you." Emma jumped up from her chair, grabbing her cane. "Sophia, is that you?" "Yes," Sophia said shyly. "Hi, Emma. Come here," Emma said. I want to shake your hand. Sophia walked over to Emma. The two girls shook hands formally, then both giggled. The ice was broken instantly. The lounge is set up for you, Jennifer said to Marcus. I've added a second chair to the piano bench so both girls can sit comfortably. Take all the time you need. Thank you, Marcus said. He felt strange being treated as a professional instead of as the janitor. But it also felt good. Come on, girls. Let's go make some music. The three of them walked to the lounge. Emma and Sophia chattered as they went, already comfortable with each other. Marcus felt a warmth in his chest. This was going to work out. The first official lesson exceeded Marcus's expectations. Both girls were eager to learn and quick to pick up new concepts. Emma showed off what she had already learned, and Sophia was impressed. Then Marcus taught them a simple duet, a piece where they could play together, watching them play side by side, their small hands moving across the keys. Marcus felt something he had not felt in years. Pride. Not just in his daughter, but in himself. He was good at this. Teaching came naturally to him. He could see the girls responding to his instruction, growing more confident with each passing minute. An hour into the lesson, Marcus glanced toward the door. Jennifer stood there watching. She was not hiding in the hallway tonight. She was openly observing the lesson. When she saw Marcus looking, she gave him a small nod of approval. After 2 hours, the lesson ended. Both girls were exhausted but happy. Their fingers were tired from practicing, but they did not want to stop. That was amazing, Sophia said. Can we come back on Wednesday? Absolutely, Marcus said. He looked at Emma. How did you like having a practice partner? I loved it, Emma said. Sophia's really good, and it's more fun when I'm not alone. You two make a good team, Marcus agreed. I think we're going to accomplish great things together. Jennifer walked them out. At the elevator, she handed Marcus an envelope. Your first payment, she said. For this week's 3 lessons. Marcus took the envelope but did not open it. Thank you, Miss Chen. Call me Jennifer, she said. We're going to be working together for a while. We might as well be on a first-name basis. Then please call me Marcus, he said. Jennifer smiled. It was the first truly warm smile he had seen from her. All right, Marcus. Good work tonight. Emma was glowing during that lesson. I haven't seen her that happy in a long time. As Marcus and Sophia rode the bus home that night, Sophia talked non-stop about Emma and the piano and all the songs they would learn. Marcus listened with a smile, the envelope heavy in his jacket pocket. When they got home, he opened the envelope. Inside were $360 in cash, crisp and new. It was more money than Marcus had ever held at one time. He counted it twice just to make sure it was real. Is that all for you? Sophia asked, peering over his shoulder. Yes, Marcus said. This is my payment for this week. Wow, Sophia breathed. That's a lot of money. Yes, it is. Marcus folded the bills carefully and put them in his wallet. This money would go straight to paying off debt and building savings. But maybe, just maybe, he could spare a little bit for something special. Sophia, what would you say if I told you we might be able to buy a piano in a few months? Sophia's eyes went huge. Really, our own piano? That we could keep in the apartment? A small one, probably used, but yes. If I keep teaching Emma and if everything works out, we could afford it. Sophia threw her arms around him. This is the best day of my life. Over the next several weeks, a routine developed. Marcus taught piano lessons on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday evenings. Sophia came to every lesson and learned alongside Emma. The two girls became close friends. They started looking forward to lesson days, counting down the hours until they could see each other again. Marcus's teaching skills grew stronger. He became more confident in his methods. He learned how to explain complex musical concepts in simple ways. He learned how to keep the girls motivated and engaged. He discovered he had a real talent for teaching. Jennifer often watched the lessons. She would stand at the door or sit quietly in the corner of the lounge. At first, Marcus found it distracting, but gradually he got used to her presence. Sometimes she would ask questions about music theory or ask him to explain what he was teaching. Marcus realized that Jennifer was learning too in her own way. One evening, after a particularly good lesson, Jennifer asked Marcus to stay for a few minutes after the girls left. I want to discuss something with you, she said. Marcus felt a flutter of worry. Was something wrong? Of course, they sat in the lounge. Jennifer looked tired, but there was a spark in her eyes that Marcus had not seen before. Marcus, you've been teaching Emma for almost 2 months now. The change in her has been remarkable. She's more confident, more outgoing. She talks about music constantly. She practices at home every day. She's a talented student, Marcus said. She makes my job easy. It's more than that, Jennifer said. You've given her purpose. You've made her believe she can accomplish something meaningful despite her disability. That's invaluable. Marcus did not know what to say. He had just been teaching piano. He had not realized the deeper impact it was having on Emma. Jennifer leaned forward. I've been thinking about expanding this arrangement. Chen Technologies has a wellness program for employees. We offer yoga classes, meditation sessions, nutritional counseling. I want to add music to that program. Marcus felt his heart beat faster. What do you mean? I want to hire you to teach piano classes for employees during lunch hours. Nothing complicated. Just introductory lessons for adults who are interested. It would be twice a week, an hour each session. I'd pay you the same rate as Emma's lessons. Marcus could hardly believe what he was hearing. You want me to teach your employees? Yes. I think it would be a wonderful addition to our wellness program. Music reduces stress and improves creativity. It would be good for the company culture. Jennifer smiled. And it would give you more income and more teaching experience. If you're interested in eventually doing this full-time, you need to build your reputation and your resume. Full-time? Marcus repeated. Why not? You're good at this, Marcus. You have a gift for teaching. You could make a real career out of it if you wanted to. Jennifer pulled out another folder. I'm also willing to sponsor your education. If you want to go back to school and get your degree in music education, Chen Technologies will pay for it. Marcus felt dizzy. This was too much. It was like being buried in good fortune. Jennifer, I can't accept all of this. It's too generous. It's not generous, it's strategic, Jennifer said in her business voice. I'm investing in talent. You have value, Marcus. I want to develop that value. It's good for Emma, good for my employees, and good for you. Everyone wins. She pushed the folder across to him. This is a proposal for the employee wellness classes and a separate proposal for educational sponsorship. Take these home and think about it. You don't have to decide right now. Marcus took the folders with trembling hands. Jennifer, I don't know what to say. This is beyond anything I ever imagined. Then say you'll think about it, Jennifer said gently. You've already proven yourself as a teacher. Now I'm just giving you the opportunity to grow. That night, Marcus sat at his kitchen table reading through the proposals. The employee wellness program would add another $240 per week to his income. That was over $900 extra per month. Combined with Emma's lessons, he would be making more from teaching than from both his other jobs. The education sponsorship was even more incredible. Jennifer was offering to pay for him to complete his degree at the community college, including tuition, books, and fees. All he had to do was maintain a decent grade point average and continue teaching Emma. Marcus thought about what this would mean. He could quit one of his exhausting jobs. He could spend more time with Sophia. He could go back to school and finally finish what he had started all those years ago. He could build a real career doing something he loved. But most importantly, he would be showing Sophia that dreams were not dead just because life got hard. He would be showing her that it was never too late to change your path, to reach for something better. The next day, Marcus called Jennifer. I've thought about your offers, he said. And my answer is yes. Yes to everything. He could hear the smile in Jennifer's voice. I'm glad, Marcus. This is going to be good for all of us. Over the next few months, Marcus's life transformed completely. He quit his warehouse job and reduced his janitorial hours. He started teaching the employee wellness classes during lunch. The classes were surprisingly popular. Adult students came to learn piano, drawn by his patient teaching style and his obvious love for music. Marcus also enrolled in classes at the community college. It was strange being back in school at 42 years old. He was older than most of his classmates and even some of his professors. But he worked hard and earned good grades. He was motivated in a way he had not been the first time around. Now he knew exactly why he was there and what he wanted to accomplish. Emma and Sophia continued their lessons, growing stronger as musicians and closer as friends. They started performing small pieces for Jennifer and the other employees. Their confidence bloomed. Jennifer continued to watch the lessons when she could. Marcus noticed that she was working fewer hours than before. She was leaving the office earlier to spend time with Emma. The stress lines on her face were beginning to fade. One evening, about 6 months after they started lessons, Jennifer asked Marcus to stay late again. This time Emma and Sophia were still there practicing a duet. "I wanted to talk to you about something," Jennifer said. They stood by the windows looking out at the city lights. "Emma's birthday is next month. She's turning 8. I want to throw her a party, and she wants to perform a piano piece. Would you help her prepare something special?" "Of course," Marcus said. "I'd be honored." Jennifer turned to look at him. "You've done so much for my daughter, Marcus. You've changed her life. You've changed mine too, if I'm being honest." Marcus was surprised. "How have I changed your life?" "You reminded me what matters," Jennifer said softly. "I was so focused on work, on building my company, on proving I could do it alone after the divorce. I forgot about Emma. I forgot about being a mother. I forgot about joy and music and all the things that make life worth living." She gestured toward the piano, where Emma and Sophia were laughing together as they practiced. "Watching you teach them, seeing how patient and kind you are, it made me realize I was doing everything wrong. Money and success don't mean anything if the people you love are unhappy." Marcus did not know what to say. He had not realized he was having that kind of impact. "I've started therapy," Jennifer continued. "I'm working on being more present for Emma. I'm delegating more at work so I can leave at reasonable hours. I'm trying to be the mother Emma deserves." "You're a good mother," Marcus said. "You've always been a good mother. You were just hurt and trying to survive. There's no shame in that." Jennifer's eyes glistened with tears. "Thank you for saying that, and thank you for everything you've done for us. You're more than a piano teacher, Marcus. You're part of our family now." Those words hit Marcus hard. Family. He had not felt part of a family since Maria died. It had just been him and Sophia against the world. But now, standing in this lounge with Jennifer, watching their daughters play piano together, he realized she was right. Somehow, without planning it, they had become a family of sorts. Not a traditional family, but something real and meaningful. Emma's 8th birthday party was held at Chen Technologies. Jennifer had transformed the employee lounge into a celebration space with balloons, decorations, and a long table filled with food and cake. About 30 people attended, including employees who had taken Marcus's wellness classes, Emma's classmates from her school for the blind, and a few of Jennifer's business associates. But the centerpiece of the party was the piano performance. Emma and Sophia had been practicing for weeks. They were going to perform a duet that Marcus had arranged specifically for them. It was based on a simple melody but had been expanded into something beautiful and complex. Marcus stood at the side of the room, watching people arrive. He wore a new suit that Jennifer had insisted on buying for him. He felt strange in it, like he was playing dress-up. But Jennifer had said that he was a professional music instructor now, and needed to look the part. Sophia stood next to him, wearing a new dress that matched Emma's. The two girls had coordinated their outfits without telling anyone. When they stood together by the piano, they looked like sisters. Jennifer moved through the crowd, greeting guests and making small talk. But Marcus noticed that her eyes kept finding Emma. She was watching her daughter with a mixture of pride and love that had not been there 6 months ago. Jennifer had kept her promise to be more present. She attended every piano lesson now. She took Emma to concerts and museums. She had even started learning piano herself, taking private lessons from one of Marcus's colleagues. As the party got underway, Marcus felt a hand on his shoulder. He turned to see Mr. Thompson, his former supervisor from the janitorial department. "Rivera," Thompson said, smiling. "Look at you. All dressed up and respectable. I heard you're a big-shot music teacher now." Marcus smiled back. "Not a big shot. Just a teacher. Don't be modest. Everyone's talking about your classes. People actually use their lunch breaks to learn piano. That's impressive." Thompson lowered his voice. "Between you and me, I always knew you were too good for janitorial work. You had something special about you. I'm glad someone finally noticed." After Thompson walked away, Marcus thought about how much his life had changed. He still did some janitorial work a few nights a week, but now it was by choice rather than necessity. He actually enjoyed it. Cleaning gave him time to think and plan lessons. It kept him humble and grounded, but his real work now was teaching. He taught Emma and Sophia 3 times a week. He taught employee wellness classes twice a week. He had even started taking on a few other private students, children whose parents had heard about his work with Emma. Between all of this and his college classes, Marcus was busier than ever. But it was a different kind of busy. He was tired from doing things he loved rather than from pure survival. Jennifer clinked her glass to get everyone's attention. "Thank you all for coming to celebrate Emma's birthday," she said. Her voice was warm and confident. "My daughter has had an incredible year. She's grown so much, learned so much, and accomplished things I never imagined possible. A lot of that is thanks to her piano teacher, Marcus Rivera." People turned to look at Marcus. He felt his face grow hot with embarrassment. Jennifer continued. Marcus saw potential in Emma that others missed. He treated her not as a disabled child who needed pity, but as a talented student who needed opportunity. "Emma, would you like to say something before you perform?" Emma stood up, holding Sophia's hand. She faced the crowd even though she could not see them. "I want to thank Mr. Rivera for teaching me piano. Before I met him, I felt like I couldn't do anything important. I felt like being blind meant I would never be good at anything. But Mr. Rivera showed me that wasn't true. He showed me that I could make beautiful music. He gave me confidence." Emma's voice grew stronger. "And I want to thank Sophia for being my friend and my practice partner. Learning piano with her has been the best part of my year. We're going to play a duet for you now. It's called Friendship because that's what this song is about. Mr. Rivera wrote it for us." The room erupted in applause. Emma and Sophia sat down at the piano, positioning themselves carefully on the bench. They looked at each other and nodded. Then they began to play. The music started softly, with Sophia playing the lower notes and Emma playing the higher ones. Their melodies intertwined, separate but complementary, like two voices in conversation. As the piece progressed, the music grew more complex. The two girls played with confidence and feeling, their fingers dancing across the keys. Marcus watched with tears in his eyes. This was his composition, his arrangement. But hearing it played by these two children who had become so important to him made it something more. It was a celebration of friendship, of growth, of possibilities realized. It was everything he had hoped music could be. When the final note faded, there was a moment of silence. Then the room exploded with applause. People stood up, clapping and cheering. Emma and Sophia stood and bowed, their faces bright with joy and pride. Jennifer rushed forward and hugged Emma tightly. Marcus saw her whispering something in her daughter's ear. Whatever she said made Emma smile even wider. After the performance, people crowded around Emma and Sophia, congratulating them. Several parents asked Marcus for his business card, wanting to sign up their own children for lessons. Marcus handed out cards that Jennifer had made for him. They read Marcus Rivera, piano instructor, with his phone number and email address. As the party wound down and guests began to leave, Jennifer pulled Marcus aside. "That was beautiful," she said. "The composition, the performance, everything. You've exceeded every expectation I had." "The girls did all the hard work," Marcus said. "I just guided them." "Stop being so humble," Jennifer said with a smile. "You're talented, Marcus. You need to own that." She handed him an envelope. "This is a bonus for all the extra work you put into preparing for today." Marcus opened the envelope and saw a check for $1,000. His eyes widened. "Jennifer, this is too much." "It's exactly enough," she said firmly. "You've earned it. Use it for whatever you need." Marcus thought about what he needed. He and Sophia had moved to a better apartment 3 months ago. They had bought a used upright piano that now sat in their living room. Sophia practiced on it every day and Marcus gave lessons there on weekends. They had paid off most of their debt. They had savings for the first time in years. What Marcus needed was not money. What he needed was right here in this room. Purpose, community, family. "Thank you," Marcus said, putting the check in his pocket. "For this and for everything else. You've changed my life, Jennifer. I was lost before I met Emma. I was just going through the motions, surviving but not living. You gave me a reason to hope again." Jennifer's eyes grew soft. "You did the same for us. Emma and I were both lost. You helped us find each other again." They stood together, watching Emma and Sophia at the dessert table, giggling over cake and ice cream. The two girls were inseparable now. They had sleepovers every other weekend. They talked on the phone every night. They were planning to start a YouTube channel where they would play piano duets. They had dreams and plans and the confidence to pursue them. Over the following months, Marcus's career continued to grow. He finished his associate degree in music education with honors. Jennifer attended his graduation ceremony with Emma and Sophia. all three of them cheering when he walked across the stage to receive his diploma. After graduation, Marcus quit his janitorial job completely. He opened a small music studio in a rented space downtown. He taught private lessons there during the day and continued his employee wellness classes at Chen Technologies in the evenings. Emma and Sophia remained his star students, progressing to advanced pieces and performing at local recitals. 1 year after that first night when Marcus played piano for a lonely blind girl, Jennifer invited him to dinner at her house. It was the first time Marcus had been to her home. The house was beautiful, modern and spacious, everything his apartment was not. Emma and Sophia ran off to play in Emma's room after dinner. Marcus and Jennifer sat on the back patio with coffee, watching the sun set behind the trees. "I want to talk to you about something," Jennifer said. She seemed nervous, which was unusual for her. "Emma asked me a question the other day. She wanted to know if you could be her dad." Marcus nearly dropped his coffee cup. "What?" Jennifer smiled at his reaction. "I told her that life doesn't work that simply, that relationships are complicated and need time. But then I realized I was overthinking everything, like I always do." She turned to face him. "Marcus, you've been in our lives for over a year now. You're patient and kind and wonderful with Emma. You've helped me become a better mother. You've made both of us happier than we've been in years." Marcus felt his heart pounding. "Jennifer, what are you saying?" "I'm saying that I care about you. More than just as Emma's teacher or as a colleague. I think about you all the time. I look forward to seeing you. I admire your strength and your talent and your goodness." Jennifer took a breath. "I know this is complicated. I'm your employer. I'm Emma's mother. There are 1,000 reasons why this is a terrible idea, but I want to see if there could be something more between us. If you're interested." Marcus sat in stunned silence. He had not let himself think about Jennifer in that way. She was beautiful and smart and successful, everything he was not. Jennifer learned about the depth of Marcus's love for his late wife and his continued grief over losing her. Marcus learned about the pain of Jennifer's divorce and her feelings of failure as a mother. They shared their vulnerabilities and fears. They supported each other through difficult days. The girls thrived in the environment of growing happiness around them. Emma continued to excel at piano, winning awards at youth competitions. Sophia discovered that she had a gift for composition, writing her own simple pieces. Both girls talked about studying music in college someday. Marcus's studio grew successful. Word spread about the teacher who had helped a blind girl become a talented pianist. Parents came from across the city, some bringing children with disabilities, others just wanting their kids to learn from someone who clearly loved what he did. Marcus hired 2 assistant teachers to help with the growing number of students. He developed a reputation for being able to reach difficult students, children who had failed with other teachers. His patience and creativity made him sought after. One evening, almost 2 years after that first meeting at the piano, Marcus and Jennifer sat together at another company event. This time it was the annual Chen Technologies Gala, a formal party for employees and major clients. Marcus had been asked to perform. He sat at a grand piano on a stage, looking out at hundreds of people in evening wear. It was surreal. 2 years ago, he had been invisible, cleaning these halls while people slept. Now he was here as an honored guest and performer. Jennifer sat in the front row with Emma and Sophia on either side of her. All 3 of them watched Marcus with love and pride. Marcus began to play. The piece was his own composition, something he had been working on for months. He called it Beyond the Door, because it was about all the things that happen in life when we open ourselves to possibility, when we stop hiding and start hoping. The music told a story. It started with sadness and loss, dark chords that spoke of grief. Then it shifted to something lighter, a melody that suggested curiosity and wonder. The piece built to a powerful middle section full of joy and triumph. Finally, it resolved into something peaceful and content, a quiet happiness earned through struggle. As Marcus played, he thought about his journey. From janitor to teacher, from poverty to stability, from loneliness to love, from giving up on dreams to living them. When the music ended, the applause was deafening. Marcus stood and bowed. Then he gestured to the front row, to Jennifer and Emma and Sophia. They stood too, and he motioned for them to join him on stage. The 3 of them came up, and Marcus put his arms around all of them. This was his family now. Not traditional, not simple, but real and beautiful and more than he had ever hoped for. Later that night, after the gala ended, Marcus and Jennifer stood on the balcony of the event space. The girls had fallen asleep in a side room, exhausted from the excitement. "That was an incredible performance," Jennifer said. "The composition was beautiful." "Thank you," Marcus said. "It's about us, about how life can change when you least expect it." Jennifer leaned against him. "I've been thinking about something. Emma keeps asking when you're going to officially be her dad, and I keep telling her we're not there yet. But maybe we are." Marcus looked at her. "What do you mean?" Jennifer pulled a small box from her purse. "I mean that I love you, Marcus Rivera. I love your kindness and your talent and your strength. I love how you make Emma laugh and how patient you are with Sophia. I love the life we've built together." She opened the box, revealing a simple gold ring. "I know this is unconventional. Usually the man proposes, but nothing about us has been conventional. So I'm asking you, will you marry me? Will you officially become Emma's father and let me officially become Sophia's mother?" Marcus felt tears running down his face. He had never imagined this moment. After Maria died, he thought his chance at love was over. He thought he would spend the rest of his life alone, working and surviving and nothing more. But then he had sat down at a piano one night. He had played a song for no one in particular. And a little blind girl had heard him. That one moment had changed everything. "Yes," Marcus said, his voice thick with emotion. "Yes, I'll marry you. Nothing would make me happier." They kissed as the city lights sparkled below them. Somewhere in the building, two little girls slept peacefully, not knowing that they were about to become sisters, not knowing that their family was about to become official. 6 months later, Marcus and Jennifer were married in a small ceremony. Emma and Sophia served as dual flower girls and performed a piano duet during the reception. The song was one they had composed together called Family Found. Marcus officially adopted Emma, and Jennifer officially adopted Sophia. The adoption proceedings were emotional but joyful. The girls were now legally sisters, though they had felt like sisters for a long time already. The family moved into a new house together, one big enough for everyone. The house had a music room with 2 pianos, one for Marcus to teach on and one for the girls to practice on. The walls were decorated with photos of recitals and performances, memories of growth and achievement. Marcus's studio continued to thrive. He was invited to speak at music education conferences about his methods for teaching students with disabilities. He became an advocate for accessible music education, using his platform to argue that no child should be denied the opportunity to learn music because of physical limitations. Jennifer scaled back her hours at Chen Technologies, promoting trusted managers to take on more responsibility. She remained CEO, but now she had time for family dinners and school events and lazy Sunday mornings with coffee and conversation. Emma and Sophia grew up surrounded by music and love. They performed regularly at community events. They started a non-profit organization that provided free music lessons to children from low-income families. They gave back the way Marcus had given to them. Years later, when Emma graduated from high school as valedictorian, she gave a speech about the janitor who had changed her life by simply being kind. Marcus sat in the audience crying with pride, holding Jennifer's hand. Sophia became a music teacher herself, inspired by her father's example. She opened a school for children with disabilities, specializing in arts education. Marcus helped her get started, proud beyond words that his daughter had inherited his passion and compassion. Marcus never forgot where he had come from. Even as his studio became successful and his family became comfortable, he remembered the years of struggle. He remembered cleaning toilets at night and wondering if life would ever get better. He remembered the loneliness and the fear and the exhaustion, and he remembered the moment everything changed. A quiet evening, an empty building, a beautiful piano, and a decision to play one song. Such a small decision with such enormous consequences. Sometimes Marcus would go back to Westfield Corporate Tower late at night. The company had kept him on as a consultant, so he had access to the building. He would go to the 20th floor, to the lounge where it all began. He would sit at the same piano and play Chopin's Nocturne in E-flat major, the piece that Maria had loved. And he would think about how strange and beautiful life was, how one moment of sadness could lead to years of joy, how one act of kindness could ripple out and change multiple lives. Marcus had not planned to be a teacher. He had not planned to fall in love again. He had not planned any of this. But by staying open to possibility, by choosing kindness over bitterness, by sharing what little he had with a child who needed it, he had found everything he had lost and more. The janitor became a teacher. The teacher became a father and husband. But most importantly, the man who had lost hope found it again in the most unexpected place. All because he played piano with a blind girl, and her CEO mother was standing beyond the door, listening and hoping and learning to believe in second chances. Sometimes the most beautiful music happens when we least expect it. Sometimes the most important moments are the quiet ones, the simple acts of sharing and caring and connecting. Sometimes a janitor is more than a janitor, a blind girl is more than her disability, and a busy CEO is more than her company. Sometimes we are all just people searching for connection, for purpose, for someone who sees us as we truly are and loves us anyway. And sometimes, if we are very lucky and very brave, we find each other. We make music together. We build families out of broken pieces. We turn lonely nights into joyful mornings. We transform sorrow into joy and strangers into family. That is the real story. Not about a janitor or a CEO or a blind girl, but about people who found each other when they needed it most and built something beautiful together. That is the story of how Marcus Rivera learned to hope again, and how his hope gave others permission to hope too. And years later, when people asked Marcus what the secret to happiness was, he would smile and say something simple. Be kind, share what you have. Stay open to possibility, and never underestimate the power of music to change lives. Then he would sit down at a piano and play, and the music would fill the room with beauty and promise, reminding everyone who heard it that life, despite all its challenges, was still worth living, still full of wonder, still capable of surprising us with joy when we least expect it. And somewhere in that house, 2 daughters would be listening, learning, and getting ready to share their own music with the world.